Hi, Michelle. Thank you so much for joining me. It's just lovely. You're one of my favorite people, and you're in my food business and everything. And I find what you do is amazing. So, this is the wonderful Michelle Norris. You are the co-founder of Paleo FX with your husband, right?
Yes.
And the thing I find really interesting is that Paleo FX, you have 8,000 people come to this event, and it is the largest paleo event in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And coronavirus went boom. That's what I want to talk about. What the fudge? What happened? What do you do after something like that? Because your revenue stream is this event, right?
Yeah. Well, we were actually making some pivots because, we've had a really good economy for 10 years, more than 10 years. And so we were due for a recession. So, one of the first things that goes in a recession is non-essential things like events and construction and what have you. So we were pivoting because we were expecting a recession to hit by the end of this year, beginning of next year. So we were already pivoting, but we didn't expect it to hit that fast and overnight. I mean, like, we literally went into recession overnight. Like, it's, crazy, insane what's happened to the worldwide economy over a virus. It's insane. So we were pivoting already. So it's been a little bit rough because it takes us 18 months to put together an event. So for half of the year, my team is working simultaneously on 2 different events. Right now they kind of are in a standstill. We're not working on any events right now because we don't know what's happening, and we have our event is actually rescheduled for July, but right now they keep rolling out. We just had an additional 2-week extension on the shelter at home. And we also had some other restrictions that were placed on us as well, which was, if you go in public now, you have to wear a mask, and all kinds.
This is in Texas.
Yes, this is in Texas. So,
and is that
actually that's parts in Austin?
Where'd you host the event?
Austin, Texas. And so, that's actually, the mask thing is just Austin right now. I don't know if the governor will end up making it statewide. For right now, the mask thing is only in Austin that I'm aware of. It might be in a couple of other cities, but that's been handled by the cities themselves. And so right now, that's where we're at. So we are supposed to shelter in place until May the 8th at this point. So right now, we just don't know. I mean, if we're going to be able to have the event. So for 6 weeks, there has been no income to Paleo FX. So we're pivoting, but it's a slow pivot. We were ready to have everything that we were going to have to roll out at Paleo FX, which would be next weekend. So all of our stuff will be ready to roll out then. But until then, we've been trying to get it all done and get it done faster. But it just hasn't. We already had things scheduled. So it's really been an interesting thing to pull out the rug underneath my team. Less than 2 months before the show. It was pretty harsh. So.
But also, you've kept all your staff employed and paid.
Almost. We had to let go. We were already planning to terminate 1 person. Then we had to put on furlough 2 people. So right now, and they are more the event staff. They were for the actual event. So until we know that we are having an actual event,
right,
bring them back on, it doesn't make a lot of sense. So we've had to furlough 2 people. We were trying to not do that, but it doesn't make sense for our company. The longer we can pull this out until we get income coming in, the better for us. It's been a really interesting situation because so many people do not understand the event business. And so
that's why I thought talking to you was just so amazing, because I've never hosted an event, let alone an 8,000 people event.
Yeah. Well, it's one thing that's really been interesting is, for the most part, all of our exhibitors, sponsors, attendees have all been mostly very supportive and very, very kind about what's happening. And but we've had a handful that have gotten really nasty about things and are like, you need to do the right thing, you need to refund people, blah 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 blah. Well, we have a non-cancellation policy because all of our contracts are non-cancelable.
Exactly.
And so all of our bills for the event have to be paid 60 days from the event. So all of our bills were paid on February 24th. And then,
oh no.
right, so on March 9th is when we got rescheduled. So we were already paid in full for our, we don't get to sit on the money until after the event and then pay all the bills. That's just not how it works in the event business. So, and you can't just cancel, you just can't cancel your event like that. An event of this size and this magnitude cannot just be canceled on a dime. And so when we, and so that's why we rescheduled. And then, so that's been really interesting, is to watch how people really react in. Yeah. We're trying to work with everybody and explain to them, we've never done this before. We've never allowed people to just move their ticket to another event. We're like, look, whatever event you can come to, your ticket is going to be good. We're happy to do that. We've given them free access to our live stream recordings from last year. We've given them free access. We plan on on launching our gut brain evolution course at Paleo FX, to have, another stream of income that came, so that our money is always really super cyclical. So March and April are our two biggest months for income, and we didn't have either of those. We had no income for either month. So for us to go from, so we're like, okay. So, and then now we gave everybody free access to this gut brain evolution course that we were planning on
selling.
So yeah, so we did that because we just thought that's the right thing to do right now. We need to try to compensate for the fact that this has really put a lot of people out. It's extremely inconvenient for a lot of people. And so we've done that. We also just rolled out yesterday that we're giving 2 free expo passes to every person who is an attendee for them to give away to somebody, because we also believe that this particular event is super important to the ongoing health of each human. And so now we've done that, and that's a lot of income that we're not going to get as well, but we're just trying to do things that we think are right to try to people. And yeah, and so that's kind of where we're at. And so the conversations that I've been having with the people that are really irritated and don't understand why I can't refund them, it's like, okay, so if you all just demand your money back, we just file bankruptcy. Nobody's getting their money back. The money's gone. It's spent. It's done. So either you work with me and we do something for you and we try to make it right, or you just demand your money and I just file bankruptcy. Nobody gets their money back and Paleo FX no longer exists. So it's been
that just sounds awful. It's like the shit and the shit house. It's kind of like there's really no space kind of in the middle of that. Yeah, I'm just sitting here going like this as you're talking. I had a client, a friend, another entrepreneur that I was talking to, and she was like, I've lost £25,000 of business overnight. Yeah. And that was what made me think of speaking to you, because I was like, I just want to speak to as many people as possible, so that there is a record of exactly what this has done for our businesses and for us. Because I know that the minute we come out of lockdown, which God willing will happen, let alone soon, there is going to be a place where we're just going to be like that. No one's going to remember. Yeah. There's not going to be a record of us being here and just thinking, oh shit. Yeah. Really, that was why I wanted to talk to you. Now, as an entrepreneur, I mean, like there are relief packages and stuff, right? In the US, actually, you've had a lot more paid out than we've had in Europe. We've had, like, I was speaking to my bank, and they, as of last week, have not paid anybody anything yet.
Yeah, no, as far as I know, I have only just heard yesterday that the initial stimulus package for individuals who had filed taxes in 2018 and in 2019, that started actually paying out yesterday. No, nothing to any businesses has happened. In fact, that's been a complete shit show. No
one is getting any money out of it.
I was on the website to file for the loans, and it literally 3.5 days I spent on the website, and every time I would get kicked off, it would just stall. But fortunately, it was saving whatever I was doing.
I was about to say, did it kill everything you've written as well?
Right. It was saving what I was doing, so I would go back to where I stopped, but it was like, it just wasn't going. And then there was a bunch of people that finally got through and finally filed their papers, but then they changed everything. So then everybody had to refile again. And so at that point I was like, are you kidding me? Like, seriously? So my CPA ended up being the one that ended up filing everything for us because he was able to get in a lot faster than the average citizen. So he filed all of that. We've still not been able to file for our PPP. They changed the rules on the advance, which was a $10,000 advance that we were all supposed to get paid. They changed that, and after everybody filed for that, they changed it and then said it's going to be $1,000 per employee. Don't know if the owners qualify as employees or not. So I'm just like sitting waiting. So we've had no money. I don't know anybody here in the United States that's gotten any money, except I know of one person yesterday that said they got the initial stimulus package, and that was it. And that's like, that's almost like a tax rebate kind of thing that they were doing. So I know I didn't get mine yet. I checked my bank account yesterday and it wasn't there, but I know one person right now.
I was going to say globally, I know one person, and she was American. So I'm like, that's the only thing. It is really unnerving, because you have businesses that we've run for 10, 11, 12 years. Mm-hmm. And you're kind of like, you could get rid of my business overnight for me. Thanks. Literally overnight. I was reading a thing yesterday, and on one of the TED talk, they were doing an interview, and they said in India, they gave them 4 hours to go into lockdown. So at 8 o'clock, they said you go into lockdown at midnight. And there were itinerant workers that lived 2 to 3 hours away by bus and couldn't even get home in that time. And I was like, okay, so there's always somebody worse off than you, but it just is so shit. What have you found during this period that has been like, that has sustained you? And what have you found that's kind of been enlightening, that you've thought, oh, actually, this has been really interesting?
Well, the one thing that really sustains me is, my friendships, like my friendships with the people, like our unicorn group.
Yeah.
I call it a life team. I have a life team of people that are they're my chosen family. They're the people that I can go to at 3 o'clock in the morning and say, I need this, and they will be there, and they will, and they'll go way above and beyond. So it's those people that are really sustaining me through all of that.
During this period, right? It has really, really stepped up. It's made such a difference.
Yeah. And so I think, and the other thing is too, is of course, being so entwined with other women who are in business, and in particularly since you and I are both in the health and wellness business, and we are connected in Unicorn to a lot of women in the health and wellness business. We all have so much knowledge about the human condition and human health and human mental health and all of those things. And so being able to utilize all the tools in our toolboxes and then also, taking information from each other about different things we're all doing. Those are the things that are actually been really impactful for me. And then just being able to, my personal doctors, you are familiar with Micra and her husband, Dan. They're my personal doctors. And so I work with them. And just being able to have calming and peaceful people in your life right now is so important. And so these are the people that actually help me not get, because I'm an empath, and the problem that I had is
that's the biggest problem, because that's what makes us really good at our job. And then you go out there and the fear is just, oh my God.
Oh yeah. So when you go out in public and that all gets put on you, it's so hard sometimes. And the thing is, I'm really learning how to transmute, and it's so hard to go, okay, wait a minute, this isn't mine. I don't know. And I'm like, oh, what do I do with it? And so I'm like, I have all this fear that comes over me when I'm out in public. And I've just been like, okay, I have to really limit my public, anything I do out in public, going to the store, doing any of that stuff, because of the fact that I end up taking on other people's fear and their feelings and their anger. That's the other part, is the anger. There's so much anger and so much animosity.
Especially in the US, there's so much fear because it's kind of hitting you guys like a truck, right?
Yeah.
But here too, we've been very lucky where we live because the majority of people where I live all have another house in the country. Lucky them. They've all buggered off. But so it's super quiet here. But I have my producer of my radio show said he was queuing and a food line, and these two guys came up and broke his nose. And I'm like, what do you mean broke his? We're in London. What do you? And he's like, yeah. He says, so my nose is now even more crooked, but yeah, all good. And you're thinking, wow, that, you know. So crime has fallen, they're saying statistically, but actually these random acts of violence have grown clearly because.
Oh my God! I mean, wow! I really pray for him. I'm sorry that happened. You know, that's the other thing is that one of the things I've been saying since the beginning of this is we're going to see the best in humanity and we're going to see the worst. And the problem with seeing the worst is that these are usually rational people that become so irrational because the fear is so it's just overtaken them and they don't know
uncontrollable.
Yeah, and it becomes this really crazy thing. I've been watching a lot of stuff on human behavior and the way that actually fear can manipulate human behavior. And it's really scary sometimes to watch some of that stuff, but it's really enlightening. And the problem is like people, I've seen this over, they've lots of videos all over the place of people fighting over toilet paper. I'm like, for God's sake, people, you don't need toilet paper. Like you don't need it.
I can't bear to watch those anymore. I'm like, I just kind of, I'm like, okay, next. I can't bear it. It just upsets me. How is it affect your relationship? Because you actually work together and you're living together, and so what is your home life looking like?
That's actually been really, really good. Keith and I have been doing a lot of work personally, individually, and work collectively on our relationship. And so I think right now for us, our relationship is in such a really great place, and that we are so super connected by what's happening to us in our business and in life here and that's one of the great things is that when I get these like moments of heightened fear that I've taken on by the collective, he's kind of my voice of reason, and he kind of like is able to ground me a little bit. And he's the one that immediately offers up, okay, you should probably talk to, like he did the other day, you need to talk to Micra. And I'm like, okay. And so I get on the phone with Micra, and of course I feel so much better by the time I get off the phone with her.
There's the thing about talking to Micra though, you do just feel really better.
Right? So it was just really this, so that's a really great thing is the support between the two of us.
It makes such a difference. Carry on.
No, I said it's been really great.
I'm so pleased. I found that that's really interesting because I mean, like, I haven't seen so much of my children since we got into lockdown. Because I mean, my teenage children, I'm kind of like, remember me? Because they're never around. And it has been really interesting to sit and do jigsaw puzzles and to spend time. And then they found that my elder daughter was working in a bar to make money to pay through her way through university. So she's like, right, here's what we're going to do tonight. So she was doing margaritas and pina coladas and all this stuff. And I'm kind of like, okay, but she was making, and it was like just the funniest thing that we were all sitting there with this pink cocktail shaker. And I'm like, it's an interesting way to bond. But okay then.
Yeah, definitely an interesting way to bond.
Really, really. And then cookies. I've just turned completely dark.
Yeah.
You can't even see me in this.
There you are. Now I can see you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to sit with my face like completely pressed up. It's not getting enough light. Yeah. But it's just, it's been so interesting to bond in so many different ways, but it has been such a pleasure. I mean, other than yesterday when I wanted to kill 2 out of the 3 children. So my third child went, well, clearly I'm the favorite child. I was like, well, right now you really are. But it has been, and even with my team, I have found, how have you found it with your team? How's it been with your workforce?
Actually, my team has been amazing. They are so good. So it's funny when I was telling you before we came on camera about my meltdown on Monday, my assistant was just like, okay, like she was totally understanding and just like, okay, what do we need to do? So we have a call scheduled this afternoon, me and her and one of my other team members, and they're going to help me just really prioritize all of my stuff and really figure out where the holes are, where the gaps are. And then they had intended to gaps on their own. They were like, look, we need to get on a call with you. Let's figure out what is the priorities for you right now. And then let us take off your plate what's not important. And I'm just like, they've all stepped up. Every single one of them is just so stepped up and and really and no complaints. Everybody's just like, what can I do? How can I help? Who can I, support? Who needs me? Whatever. And it's just been really amazing. I'm very, very blessed. It's
so lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, I have an excellent team. I'm so blessed with my team.
We're considered an essential business, so because we do food and we do takeaway, and so it's been really interesting to. I'm trying to find more light.
Yeah.
This is the perils of being brown in a when filming. One of my COO actually came because we're still everything's still functioning. So my COO came and got stopped by 3 policemen on the way, and she's like, "I'm not coming back. We're going to talk online." I was like, "All right then," and we're running it all like that because some of us have to turn up like at the kitchens and everything. And she was just like, "I got questioned for 20 minutes from a policeman as to why I was walking down the street," and I was like, "You stay right at home." It's just It's just a different world. So what do you think? What do you see going forward? What do you feel about how it's going to look going forward?
Wow. Very different. I mean, this is one of the things that I was telling Keith yesterday. This is not how I want to live. I do not want to live in fear of a virus. If my fate is that a virus is going to kill me, let it be. I'm just like, this is really this is not functional. This is not sustainable. This is not, I don't see how anybody can expect us to live this way.
No, not forever. It's too much. I mean, it's not worth it. You're better are we going? If I'm going, I'm going, but I'm not going to sit here and wait.
That's how I feel. I'm just like, look, I would rather take my chances with a virus than live like this.
Yeah.
And live in this overwhelming and looming and fear. It's just, I don't want to live like this. And I don't know anybody that does. And the thing is that if you're in fear of this virus, then lock down. But if you're not, life should be the way, I mean, I just still I can't even comprehend sometimes that this actually happened over a virus. And I know minimize it. I'm not trying to minimize.
No, but it's unbelievable. We have so many viruses. I'm sort of sitting there looking at it thinking, how did this happen over a virus?
Right. Yeah. That's the thing is that we've evolved to, and we've lived with viruses all of our evolution since we've had viruses and we've lived with them. And this is the thing and I'm not trying to minimize this, and I'm not trying to be, insensitive to the fact that there are people that are dying.
Physical health reality you're discussing, which is a completely different thing to consequences.
Right. So the thing is I'm not trying to minimize that, but this is the thing. Is this the way that people were intended to go? Like, you have to think about how we've had different plagues all throughout our evolution. And what happened is people evolved from those. Like, so for instance, I have MTHFR. I have MTHFR now based on the fact that my ancestors lived through and were able to survive bubonic plague. That's part of my DNA now. And so it's like, this is just another evolution that we're going through. And the problem that I see is that we're locking down healthy humans when we shouldn't be. And we need, and they're completely ignoring that there is herd immunity. When we actually go out, we get this virus, we go through it.
Sweden is doing it.
Right. The majority of us are going to live through this, and we need the herd immunity, and we're not going to get that. And what my fear is, this is actually a fear of mine right now, is that when they release us, because they've had us all the healthy people in lockdown, we're going to see the numbers soar. And then they're going to go, oh, we need to put you back in lockdown. No, you need to just let us go. Exactly. Let everybody, and lock down the people who actually need to be locked down.
With the people that are ill, not the people that are healthy.
The people that have immunosuppression, the people that are the elderly, anybody like that, pregnant women, those are all the people that need to stay in lockdown. And we need to be very mindful about how we do that, because this is the other part of this, is that during illness, isolation is absolutely the worst possible thing you can do to a person. It's emotionally, mentally, physically.
Honestly, the people that are living on their own, I feel for them. I'm like, oh my God, how are you coping?
Right. And that, this is the thing, is that I just, that's my fear, is that they're going to go, oh, we need to put you back in. Yeah. We've let you out. Oh, shoot, we did this wrong. Yeah, it's wrong from the beginning.
We have so many people in my house because we have, all my millions of children. And then I have these 2 people that worked in our kitchens who got made homeless. So I was like, okay, you guys can come and live because we have a spare room, and they're, because they were, they had nothing to eat and they had nowhere to live, and and it's just terrible. So I was like, actually, we just feed so many people every day. I'm like, but it doesn't matter, because the more people that you have, I think the more we build that immunity. So I think that really matters.
So so that's my fear, is that they're going to go, oh, we got this wrong. We need to come back in. But no, you need to just let us all go, because
and then let us all be healthy and develop that and do whatever.
Well, and this is, it was done wrong from the beginning. Who should have been isolated or quarantined were the people that were susceptible to this, and everybody else should go about their business, keep business going, not wreck the entire world economy over this.
The consequences, actually, when I look at places like Kenya or India or wherever, where people just live literally mouthful to mouthful, not paycheck to paycheck, mouthful to mouthful. Right. The consequences of shutdown are going to kill more people in a way than the virus will. Here, poor people are starving in England, because in Britain, because they don't have enough money to buy food. Right. Anyway,
so our homeless situation in Austin is out of control. It's really our mayor deemed Austin a homeless sanctuary city, which I don't know what in the world that was about, but anyway, that's happened. And so that's the other thing, is there's so many people right now that are signing a petition to get, so they call it camping in public, and they want to get rid of camping in public because they're camping in public. And my whole thought process is, okay, so wait a minute, these are actually humans. And do we have a solution? Because I'm not signing a petition to just get rid of camping.
Yeah, go take them where? Evangelists did this. It's like, take them where? Where are you going to put them?
Right. Where are they going to go? Like, I understand that it is distressful for people to see homelessness right in their face.
Yeah, but you can't dump them, can you?
Right. But it's just so, I'm just like, what? Wait, so let's just tell them you got to go. Like, where? And in the middle,
that's the worst part, where I can't see you. Right. And that's wrong.
Right, it is. And that's probably one of the things that I feel like in all of this, is that my hope is that there are so many more people that become awake after all of this, that they recognize what's happening, and that we need to, we're just all connected to each other. And
there's no escaping. There isn't a big and a down and an up, and it just isn't. Thank you, my love. I'm wishing you the best for Paleo FX. And if people want to find out more about what you guys do, where should they go?
So we are paleofx.com. That's F as in Frank, X as in X-ray. So it's F of X, like the math function. So it's Paleo. Paleo FX, all across all of the social sites. And then for me, I'm Dana Michelle Norris on Instagram, Facebook, and for some reason, Twitter doesn't like my full name, so it's D Michelle Norris there. So anyways.
Dana Michelle, like D-A-N-A.
Yeah. So anyway, but thank you so much for having me on. I miss you, and I can't wait to see you in person.
Loved spending time with you. It was just wonderful. So thank you, everybody. And thank you for listening. And go and check out Paleo FX. And I'm going to get a light under my face. This is what I'm going to do. Thank you so much, Michelle.
Alrighty.